Hello, my name's Emily Nolenberg, and I'm a senior here at Porter High School. Today I have the opportunity to interview the superintendent, Mr. Matt Calvert. It's a pleasure to finally get the opportunity to meet you. Before getting into the questions of today's interview, would you mind sharing a little bit about how you got to where you are today?
Sure, Emily. Thanks for having me here today, and thank you for taking the time to talk to us. We moved here in 2015. My wife and two kids. We got a fourth grader and a first grader at Ben's Branch, so we're definitely deep into new Caney ISD. Prior to coming here as the executive director of finance, I was an assistant superintendent of finance. I was an elementary principal, an elementary assistant principal, and then I taught math and science in middle school in my former district. So we moved to the area because just of the professional opportunities that were available to me and the personal opportunities available to my family. So we're happy to be here.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're so glad you're here with us. So I understand that safety is a top priority for the school district. In light of recent events, can you talk about school safety and some of the measures the school district has in place for students and staff?
Yeah, great question. There's a lot of things we do proactively regarding safety and some things we do reactively involving safety. So some proactive things are things like our police department. Our district is very blessed to have our own police officers. We see them around our campuses. We see them at our sporting events. So great group of individuals, specially trained to deal with law enforcement situations inside a school district. And then we have our emergency operations department that helps us take care of things such as hurricanes, freezes, gas leaks, all those unforeseen circumstances. And so they put procedures in place to help our campuses respond to those and manage those. And then reactively, we have what we call our crisis management team. So that way, anytime things happen that, disrupt a school day, things of that nature, our principals have tools in their pocket to help themselves communicate with parents, help keep kids safe, staff safe, and that sort of thing. So we try to be prepared as we can, but then also have plans in place for when things do happen.
Yeah, that's really cool. So speaking of students and staff safety, what can students, staff, or parents do to help with school safety?
Well, we're in the people business in education. It's all about people. It's all about relationships. And I think the better relationships we have with each other, the safer we are, because communication's key in all that. And so we want our students to have great relationships with our teachers, teachers with administrators, students with administrators, because we encourage people when they see something or hear something to say something. We would rather hear something, take action on it, and it be nothing than the other way around. So we just want to encourage those relationships, and you as students, don't ever take anything for granted. If you see something that just doesn't seem quite right, go to one of your administrators, go to one of your teachers, your coaches, and just let them know about us. That way we can look into it.
That's great. I think communication is key. How can the district better communicate with parents, staff, and students to cultivate a community of safety and peace?
Well, that's a question that we do our best to answer every day, kind of boiling it down to what are we doing to keep our kids safe? What are we doing to keep our staff safe? And so we're taking, a proactive approach and communicating things the district does. So in our monthly newsletter that goes out to, I believe, over 15,000 people, community members, parents, everyone else like that, we're going to start highlighting different things such as police department, emergency operations, social emotional learning, our crisis counselor team. So that way people are aware of all the resources that are available to them in those situations. And then again, from a reactive standpoint, we've equipped our principals and our teachers with the Remind app. Y'all are probably used to getting messages through that from coaches, teachers, anybody else you're in a club or organization with. So in a moment, they can send a message to parents informing them something's happened, your kids are safe, come get them, whatever that may be. They can do that via Remind, they can do that via Skyward email, and they also can go old school and just do old-fashioned call-out system. Just pick up the phone and call. Goes out to everybody. I know it's not that simple behind the scenes, but they have the ability to do that. Though there is a balance when we do those kind of things, though, in those reactive situations. And, we want to get out timely information, but we want to get out accurate information. So I would rather wait just a little bit and get the right information out than rush things and get wrong information out. So that's kind of our approach to in this situation, and then proactively some things we're putting out there to keep people informed.
Yeah, that's really good. You mentioned social emotional learning. I know that's been a big point in our district in the previous years and this year. And as you may know, safety is more than physically protecting students, but with the current digital climate of our culture, students' emotional and mental well-being is also an important aspect of safety. What is the district doing to create a safe environment, not only physically, but also mentally and emotionally?
Well, I think kids naturally want to feel safe when they come to school. They want to feel they belong. They want to feel included. Our teachers feel the same way. And so we're big on relationships. I think that common bond, that relationship with all your teachers, that one or two special teachers, whoever it may be, I think when we focus on the relationships between each other, because as a district family, we spend just as much time with each other as we do our family at home. Mm-hmm. And so we've really got to cultivate and foster those relationships there. So I think that's very important to our mental well-being at school. And then we've also embraced the 7 Mindsets curriculum for our social emotional learning. And like you said, today's digital world, there's all sorts of information coming at you from all kind of angles. Mm-hmm. How to filter that information, who knows? But we hope that the 7 Mindsets curriculum gives our staff and our students a filter to bring that information into themselves, internalize it, think about it, and then make a choice for themselves, not lean on what they're hearing from somebody else of what that person or that group may think they need to do. Yeah. So we're hoping that that curriculum gives our kids the tools to process information in their world around them while they're with us and then when they graduate from here.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And as the district's been implementing these new programs, we're also expecting a lot of growth. As you may know, you probably know, West Fork High School is opening next year, and it's easy to see that New Caney ISD is a fast-growing school district. Can you talk about your expectations for growth and how the district is planning for increased enrollment in the future?
We are absolutely correct. The growth is here. It's here to stay. It's exciting, a little scary at the same time when you're building buildings for people that aren't quite here yet. So there has to be a plan. It has to be a well thought out plan. It has to be a long-term plan. And so we want to be respectful stewards of our taxpayer dollars. We see their dollars as an investment in our community, as an investment in our kids, which is an investment in our future. And so we're nearing the end of Bond 2018 where, like you said, West Fork came out of there. We replaced Kiefer Crossing. We added on to Woodridge Forest Middle School, I think a place you know well. And then we're also replacing Port Elementary out of that. So there will be another bond in the future. And we'll rely on the data that tells us where students are show up, when we need those buildings in those locations, to just stay ahead of the growth so that way you all can keep having the experiences you've been used to getting from us every day.
Yeah, that's so good. So the district is currently considering adjusting school start and release times beginning next school year. Can you talk about some of the reasons for considering a change?
Oh, absolutely. That is something that your principals, your teachers, we've heard from students and parents over the past couple of years of, hey, will y'all look into this? How can we do this? Is this even an option? And so we've started having those conversations. We've put a form out on our website to get feedback from our parents. The best thing I like reading that form every day is about feedback from our students. I've seen a lot of student emails coming through there. We're up to over 700 responses now. And so there's a lot of momentum there. We appreciate hearing from our community on an issue such as that. But some reasons why. Number one is a safety issue, in my opinion. If we have our elementary kids getting home before their older brothers and siblings, we don't want them to be home alone, anything like that. So it's kind of that built-in babysitter, for lack of a better term. You let older brother and sister kind of watch them as they get off the bus. And then really from the secondary level, from the high school level, you guys getting out earlier keeps you in class longer. I hate to tell you that, but academics is key. But it also builds that time in to get that after-school job, go to whatever practice you're going to go to band practice, whatever it may be, really, truly put 100% into the school day and then take a break and get into those extracurricular activities. So we think that's a very big perk of not missing as much class time for our high school kids. So that way they can really get the best of both worlds. Yeah. So we'll talk more about that at our November board meeting, but we're getting a lot of great feedback. We appreciate the communication between our staff, our students, our community. So it's an interesting process. It's an important process. Crazy to think we're already talking about 22, 23 when we're just in October of 21, but we have to get those plans going. So we'll see how things turn out, but it's been a great forum so far. Yeah,
that's personally super exciting because I know we've had a lot of students asking to switch the times, and that's super exciting. But I was kind of wondering, as superintendent, what role do you play in the New Caney ISD school district?
It's probably a great question, and a lot of people ask on a daily basis, what does this guy do? I think my role is to make sure all the pieces are in place every day to support students when they walk through our doors. That starts with our bus drivers, our cafeteria ladies, making sure the buildings are clean in the morning, they're comfortable, they're cool. Then it builds on to your teachers having the supplies and training they need to give you guys a great quality education. So it's just our job every day is to give you the best experience possible, to give you an educational experience you're proud of. Yeah. And so I see my role as superintendent of the district to make sure all those pieces are aligned every day, so that way when you show up, you get the best we have to give you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Calvert, for taking the time out of your day to discuss the very important topic of school safety. Now, on a lighter note, what are your predictions for the World Series?
Well, thank you for taking your time to talk to me today, Emily. And even after the game one that we saw, my prediction is still Astros in 6. Go Stros.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, Mr. Calvert. Thank you for watching. My name's Emily Nolenberg, and we'll see you next time.